What's up, y'all? It's your boy G in Bacolod, Philippines. Going to be discussing generational wealth and the correct way for your descendants to acquire it. But before I do that, I'm going to preface this video with another video of what not to do. Let's check it out.
When my great-grandfather passed away, I was just thinking about this morning. He passed away maybe 2001. He left my family in total probably close to about $500,000. My grandfather, his son, received about $200,000, and then the rest was kind of divided up against other family members. Each grandchild got one, and so he was really specific in his will about who got what. And so looking back, like at 31, at the time I was, much younger. Looking back at 31, I appreciate the specificness and how he left legacy behind. He had several businesses. He was an engineer. But then I thought about my grandfather who just passed a few months ago, so his son. And he passed away in a trailer that he didn't even own. And I think about legacy. And I asked myself, how do we get from millionaires, in the early 2000s, with my grandfather's legacy, kind of paving the way, right, for entrepreneurship and wealth, to a trailer in the countryside in Illinois.
So now that we have a better understanding of what wealth is, we can now ask the question, what is generational wealth? Generational wealth, my definition, is defined as wealth passed down from one generation to the next. That could be in many different forms, right? It could be heirlooms, it could be biology, genes, it could be tradition, lots of different things. However, normally when we talk about passing down wealth, we're talking about financially passing down wealth from one generation to the next. So financial wealth can be divided into two categories, tangible and intangible assets. I'm going to expound on both of those in this video. So tangible assets are things that you can pick up with your five senses: seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing, and touching. Intangible exist, but you can't pick them up with your five senses. Intangible items include 401ks, brokerage accounts, trust funds. But if you want to be more accurate, we're talking about intangible assets, brand recognition, patents, trademarks, goodwill, business plans, and most of all, education. A perfect example of an intangible being passed down from generation to generation would be like a recipe. For example, your grandmother makes da bomb tamales. She makes them with specific ingredients and she puts them together a specific way. That's the intangible asset. The tangible would be the tamale itself. You could see it, you could smell it, you could taste it. It's tangible. What people fail to realize is that once the intangible disappears, the recipe, the tangible also disappears with it, which is the tamale. And that's exactly what you got in the video earlier. The great-grandfather provided the grandfather all of this money, which was a tangible asset. But since the great-grandfather didn't provide the grandfather with the education on how to keep it, which is the intangible asset, the money, which was the tangible asset, disappeared. Another example of this would be places like Hawaii, in which I've lived in for 3 years. It's really hard to find full-blooded native Hawaiians and Hawaiians that actually speak the native language. Due to US occupation and colonization, the language itself has basically disappeared. So that's the intangible asset, thereby eliminating art, history, culture, anything that's related to their heritage. It basically disappeared. So another way to think about this is, let's say you go to a 4-year college and you get a bachelor's degree in something. The common thinking is sometimes a bachelor's degree isn't worth it because you're going to acquire a lot of student loan debt. And when you finish the degree program, you're not going to land the job that you want to get. And sometimes I like to challenge that way of thinking, because once you earn the degree, they can't take it away from you. It is yours for life. Right? So they'll give you a piece of paper called a degree and you can put it on your wall, but that piece of paper holds no value, right? Your house could catch on fire and the degree could disintegrate. All you have to do is go back to the school that you graduated from and they could print you out another one. It's that critical. I mean, it basically defines you. In fact, they'll put that in your obituary when you pass. You could be 110 years old and then pass away, but acquired your degree in your 20s. And they'll put on your obituary where you're from, what school you went to, what you graduated in, your profession, your wife, and everybody that you're survived by, right? It's just that critical. They can't take it away from you. It's yours for life. So what I implore you to think about when it comes to generational wealth is what you pass down, is it tangible or is it intangible? Absolutely pass down some tangible things like cash, real estate, land, if you can, right? But what's more critical is that you pass down intangible items like education. That's the biggest one. Teaching your children about financial literacy, about how to invest in real estate, brokerage accounts, retirement accounts, teaching them about compound interest and the importance of starting early, because the longer runway you have, the better of a chance that you have to acquire more money. Teaching them how to reduce their taxable income and how to take advantage of tax breaks. Teaching them about creating a business. Teaching them the importance of being conceptual and creating original ideas, ideas that no one has thought of before, ideas that you can't just steal from Google. And like I've told a lot of people before, when I do decide to have children, of course, I want them to focus on their passion, but what I would strongly encourage them to do is to become inventors, right? And to that end, as a father, I would help them fund, I would help them produce and harness whatever type of invention they would come up with. Their ideas are their very own, so all I would want is to help cultivate that and help protect their ideas for their own legacy. So in conclusion, I would encourage you to pass down intangible generational wealth, because that will never ever depart from them. And depending on how often you anchor that concept deep into their psyche, it'll become solidified in their thinking, etched into their spirit, and eventually become who they are. And once these ideas have been learned and applied effectively, they should be encouraged to be recycled and passed down from one generation to the next. These intangible assets will perpetuate and help eliminate the generational curse of poverty. And that is how you create generational wealth. That is all I have for today. It's your boy G from the Philippines. Be blessed. I'll holler at you later. Aloha. If this video was of value to you, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, it's your boy G. Be blessed. I'll holler at you later. Aloha.